Hey guys, this is question MM120 of the Maths Methods Fortify study guide. And today we've got a question that talks about a cosine function f of x in the form f of x equals a cos b x plus c plus d. The question tells us that its period is 5 pi on 3, its range is -4 to 3, and its horizontal translation is equal to pi on 3 in the positive direction of the x-axis. Awesome. So we've basically got to figure out what our values of a, b, c, and d are based on all of this information. So let's start with the period, because that's unaffected by anything else. So we know that the period of a cosine function is given by 2 pi over b, where b is our coefficient out the front of the x bracket. We also know that the period is 5 pi on 3, which means that 5 pi on 3 is equal to 2 pi over b, which means that b is equal to 6 over 5. So this is our first piece of information that we have, okay? Which means that we now know that f of x is equal to, actually I'm not going to write this out because I'm going to run out of room, but we know that this b here is 6 on 5 because of this working out here. We also know that the range is -4 to 3. Now this d value here represents our midpoint. So if we had a graph that looks something like this, this here would be our midpoint. So our midpoint lies halfway between -4 and 3. The way that you can work out the halfway point, if you're not too sure, is you can use the midpoint formula, which is basically 1 plus the other divided by 2. So -4 plus 3 over 2, which is going to give you -1 over 2, which means that our d value is -1/2. So d equals -1/2, because this is our midpoint, right? Now we want to work out our amplitude. So our amplitude is the distance from the midpoint to the maximum, or the distance from the midpoint to the minimum. It's also the range. So the range divided by 2. So our range is -4 to 3, which means from here to here is 7, which means that our amplitude is going to be half that, just one of these, which is 7 on 2, which means that our a value equals 7 on 2. So we also need to look at our horizontal translation, which is pi on 3 in the positive x direction, which means that our c value is our horizontal translation. Because we're going in the positive direction of the x-axis, we're actually going to minus pi on 3 from there, which means that c is equal to minus pi on 3, which means that our final equation or function is f of x equals 7 on 2 cos, our b is 6 on 5, outside of x minus pi on 3, and our d value was -1/2. So take away 1/2. And this gives us d as an answer, and that's it. So guys, please let me know if you have any questions. But apart from that, have a great day.